The link between you and the spire recedes. The arcane bond is still present, but the mystical energies for the moment are quiet. Your body flooded with excitement and fatigue. It's unclear whether the mystic connection is strengthening you or siphoning. The tower offers nothing but a way of answer, and you know that asking would only yield more silence and mystery. The deluge of sensation is over, but the position of the other spires still linger in your mind. From your vantage point at the top of the mountain spire, you can easily spot the mysterious structures, each of them rising high above their distant surrounding. Strange. Ebb curls her fingers and draws a quick sigil in the air, then studies how it fades. The magic of this place responds to you. The portal, the braziers, it all grows more vibrant when you approach. Before we get ahead of ourselves, it's worth remembering that you ended Kairos' edict. That's no small feat. Maybe your connection to this place is related? Either way, that sounds like something for the arcane-minded to investigate. Gotcha, verse. Be sure to see me after your audience with Tunon. We cannot let the Scarlet Chorus gain hold on the tiers. Together we will wipe them from the land. Come to me as soon as you can, Fatebinder. We have a lot of work to do. Aw. Intriguing. To the east, you can see deep ashen clouds surrounding the burning library. Well, to the west, you can see the shining spire of the Lethian's cross. You must gather your party before venturing forth. Obviously. Are you sure you want to instantly teleport from the mountain spire? Sure. It's still very unfortunate that we can only have 4 party members. No Spireforge plan available. Fatebinder, if you have a moment. Beric stands at attention, his rigid bearing making him an unmoving statue. There have been a number of times since I came to your surface in which I have not agreed fully with your choices. That said, never have I truly questioned your judgment. I hope this pattern holds after you hear the request I now make of you. Relax, Beric. Just tell me what's on your mind. If it's a hug you're looking for, I've got some bad news. No, that's not it at all. I hope that perhaps the adjudicator would hear my case. What are you talking about? I have been encased in this. He wraps a gauntlet against the shards of corroded iron and bronze that sweep across his chest. Shell. I've been encased in this shell since Kairos' edict of storms made a grave of old stalwart. It occurred in service to the Overlord. And I would ask that the Overlord free me of its burden. I will happily make your case to the Archon. Thank you, Fatebinder. Salute rings like a poorly cast bell. I eagerly await the Archon's judgment.
So, the Scarlet Chorus and Disfavored are at each other's throats. Can't say I didn't see that coming, but the Archons might have waited until one war was over before they started another.
You think I made the right decision?
Fighting with the Disfavored. Oh, not the call I would have made, but I'm sure you have your reasons. If you like iron weapons or something about that purple uniform excites you, then be my guest. Who can say? War is all about compromising your morals, deciding who lives and dies. What seems like a mistake turns into your greatest call down the road. Let me make one thing clear, just so that there aren't any misunderstandings. You support Graven Ash, and I couldn't care less. I'm here because you've done what none of the Archons could. Not even the voices of Nerat would fault me that. He's also a complete bastard, and I wouldn't want to miss an opportunity to stab him in the gut and take control of his army. So, there's that. I'll say this much. Our time together is anything but dull. My blades are yours for as long as you'll have me.
Noted. I have questions for you.
What do you need?
Have either of you... I'd like to discuss your apparent connection with Barrick.
You've just got to know, don't you? I suppose there's no point in hiding it. Barrick and I are siblings. We share a father, if little else. I try not to think too much about some northern merchant dropping anchor in my mother's port, but it happened, and the fortunate result stands proudly before you.
How did you two become aware of this?
There were a lot of lazy days during the conquest, and among other things, I spent my off hours using messenger birds as target practice. You should have seen Ash's anger when he heard that was going on. One day, I snagged a bird that flew from the hands of a proud northern daddy. The missive was about the goings-on at the family farm. I recognized the name and handwriting from a note in my mother's belongings. There weren't too many people named Barrick in the army, so tracking him down was no challenge. I cornered him in camp, and we shared a few heated words. Some blackmail, even.
She tried to extort rings from me, and I was having none of it. Not even Graven Ash would think less of me for our father's indiscretion.
I like your confidence, but my ring belt is feeling a little light these days. Maybe you want to take me up on that offer, or I can start whispering in disfavored ears. Think about it.
Do you even like each other?
I've tried to get along with that ironclad knot of repression, but it would seem he's having none of it. Good riddance, then. The war has tossed us together, but nothing says we have to keep that going.
Okay, so this is interesting.
The most we do for each other is try not to get the other one killed, which is more than you can say for most disfavored and Scarlet Chorus.
How has this affected you, Barrick?
Well, Verse has a nasty habit of jabbering in my ear and making this war intolerable. I plan on parting ways and returning to the north at first convenience. My father will answer for his infidelity. Beyond that, I am happy to consider myself in every way unaffected. My superiors once accused me of having an impulsive streak, but I have worked to suppress it at every turn.
When you go back home, send Father my fondest greetings and thanks. If he hadn't gone to ground on my mother's dry dock, I might not be here today.
My heritage was a point of pride and distinction before I met you, Verse. Not that you would care.
Have you noticed any significant impact?
I've asked myself about that several times, but unfortunately I don't have what you'd call a definitive answer. The Northerners put a lot of meaning behind family and blood. Seems arbitrary to me, but I don't want to discredit it entirely. I told you about what happened to my Scarlet Fury sisters. The hesitation I experienced. Sometimes I wonder if that wasn't because of my connection to Barrick. He's stubborn, regimented, everything I'm not. I suppose there's no telling for sure, but if I had to guess... Yeah. Sometimes I get messed up in my head, and learning I had a brother has helped me understand that better.
Let me ask about something else.
What do you need?
Tuberic and Verse, have either of you noticed that you fight particularly well together?
The thought has crossed my mind from time to time. During the many battles of the Conquest, we found ourselves standing back to back with enemies on all sides on more than one occasion.
The big guy here is as useless as an empty scabbard without his phalanx to keep him alive, but I move fast enough to compensate for it. And it's nice having a living wall of rusted iron I can use for cover.
Do you think this is because of your shared heritage?
If you want to attach some arcane meaning to the whole thing, be my guest. I couldn't tell you for sure. I doubt that a capable tactician could explain why certain soldiers learn to rely on each other.
In the disfavored ranks, the Oathbound seem to know more about synchronizing their efforts, and the same could be argued for the Scarlet Furies. I don't know how they pair up their units, but it isn't by virtue of blood.
How do you think this is possible?
I would suggest that our fighting styles complement each other, but they do not. I would suggest that we get along, but we do not. We don't even finish each other's
sentences. Okay, that was strange. Did you hear that? The next time I catch a whiff of Barrick's meaning, I'm keeping my mouth shut.
I want you two to train together.
Absolutely not. Our fighting styles are incompatible, and any disfavored lieutenant will tell you not to join at the hip soldiers who can't stomach each other.
I'm inclined to agree. If you want to pair up fighters, there has to be some great passion or magnetism between them. We don't have it.
If neither of you is up to the challenge, then I won't force the matter.
Now see here, Verse's temperament and unpredictable ways are an annoyance, but no challenge is beyond my skill. Verse, we should take some time to face off in the sparring fields. It might even improve our disposition towards one another.
I'd rather watch you devour your armor one shaved off spoonful at a time. But since that isn't going to happen anytime soon, I suppose I'll make an effort.
Nice! Let's finish with her.
What is it you need?
We should discuss matters at
Working
hand.
with the disfavored. You want my advice? My advice would be to get close to Graven Ash and plunge a poisoned shiv in his ear.
And how exactly do you think one goes about doing
Well,
this?
if you're working with Graven Ash, give it your all. Offer to help the Archon of War with whatever he needs. The stronger the Legion, the weaker the Chorus. And if you get close enough to him, well, with enough trust, you could get very close to the Archon of War. I'm not saying it's a quick plan, but I think if you stay close in his confidence, the moment to strike will reveal itself in time. Now we're working with the disfavored. You want my advice? My advice would be to get close to Graven Ash and plunge a poisoned shiv in his ear. Ah, right, I'm speaking out of line. But I don't really know what to say here. I hate the disfavored, but I'm sworn to your cause, so my honest opinion won't do anyone any good.
Some questions for you.
Ask away.
Let's speak of magic.
You know, I normally charge for this, but for you...
What can you tell me about your magical tradition?
Now, you know that's a very personal question. The knowledge I have is a centuries-old gift from the Archon of Tides. I would sooner discard my life than the sanctity of that gift. I will speak in generalities only.
Okay. Ask. Worst I can do is not tell you. Here we go, chat. Another course of nothing but reading for a long period of time. Tell me about how you influenced Heritus Grave. Great secret, not one I'm going to talk about. School of Tides dies with me, and so too will this. And don't bother trying to change my mind on this matter. It'll just get ugly quick. Gotcha. Tell me how you influence ice, mist, and other forms of water. With years of training. Now look, most of those secrets have already been stolen ages ago by the sages. It doesn't mean I'm going to tell you just because the secret's already out. But it means you can go ask someone else if you really feel so entitled to know. Didn't she swear to me? Swear loyalty? Girl, you need to be talking to me about this stuff. Anyways, can you teach me what you know? When you spared my life, I did say I would train you, so be it. Ebb lets out a long sigh, her eyes scanning the ground for a long moment. First things first, this is the sigil of occult trade Arcanatides. Watch carefully. Ebb holds up her right hand, curling her palm as she fans her fingers. With a whip of her wrist, she scribes a pattern in the air, her fingers glowing an orange hue for a moment as she traces in the air. Zercon gained 5 control grave light skill ranks. Ooh, for several hours you mimic Ebb's gestures while absorbing her biographical anecdotes about the Archon's life, times, and power. At last, the moment occurs where the understanding clicks. You are no longer aping her movements, but willfully tapping into the power of the Archon. I'd ask that you use this knowledge wisely, but it's not like I do. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm talked out for a moment. Perhaps another time. Okay. Okay, then here. Oh my. Oh, this is gonna be. Oh no. Oh my. How about we go with this? Oh, this is Phantom Bolt. Okay. 100. Jesus. Anyways. Paralyzing, huh? Ooh. And that goes up to 5, and this was 65, 60, 60. Okay.
On it.
Oh, apparently. I wasn't quite done looking. Oh, wait, no, because all the bars were there. I wasn't able to officially look through this area. Subterfuge.
It's all in the reflexes.
You. That's something I already know, right? Yep. What did I just pick up? Oh, right here. Oh, this is for Spire stuff. Okay. Okay. That's a bronze Deo sword. Okay. Alright, let's get out of here. And figure out what's okay, what's this? Alright, let's go. +5 all skills until next rest. Gotcha. Okay, well, quick save first. We need to head to the Bastard City, right? Beside the road ahead of you, you espy a cart. The vehicle is abandoned with one wheel broken free of its axle. Several crates and sacks remain piled on the small wagon, while a pair of boxes rest on the grass beside it. Approach the cart. As you approach, you see the cart boasts four wheels, or did before the loss of the left one, and a long leather attack and harness for the basement hauler. One of the crates that fell to the ground broke open along its edge, and fruits have spilled out onto the ground. Examine the cart. You immediately notice the sundered hauler harness, likely the result of a blade weapon. The broken wheel too appears less the consequence of accidents than human endeavor. The spattering of dark, dried blood across the boards cinches your suspicion that this cart came under attack, yet the goods remain. Prepare for attack. You draw a weapon and enter a defensive crouch, peering towards the tree line in expectation of an ambush. Surely enough, you make out flickers of movement through the ambush. The initiative is yours, however. Leaving the cart behind, you crash into the underbrush, driving your assault to the tearsmen and battered leathers and mismatched bronze, who mistakenly believed that they could get the drop on you. Oh, this ought to be good.
Come at me, grave meat.
Will do.
Are you afraid of death, worm?
Well then.
Let us take them together!
I'll spill your guts.
Stand tall, Fatebinder.
Oh, well. I mean, if anything, Barrick will get this done.
I will aid you.
Are you bleeding? Yeah, but you'll be fine.
Fall before me.
No can do.
Pity you won't enjoy this as much as I do.
Oh, she did exactly what I was gonna go for. Alright, and you got it. But two of us are wounded already. Doot, 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 doot.